Live from the studios of NBC 12 and ABC 25, this is First Coast News at 11.
And we start tonight at 11 with breaking news. The Jacksonville Sheriff's Office needs your help tonight finding a 74-year-old woman. She is believed to be with a 37-year-old man, but we're unsure right now how they know each other, if they even do.
First Coast News' Hani Rodriguez went to the missing woman's neighborhood tonight, which is on Blackstone Court on the west side. She's been talking to neighbors, and she joins us live on the scene with what we've learned. Hani?
Hey, Heather and Anthony, good evening. As you can see, it's a pretty active scene still here. JSO on the scene. We've seen several crime scene vans on the scene as well. We saw another policeman in a white suit. They've been taking pictures around. We believe this is where that woman, Janice Fulton, lives. I spoke to a neighbor who says he didn't really know what was happening. This is a pretty quiet neighborhood, according to him. He only was made aware because he saw all the cop cars drive through here. I spoke to another neighbor who tells me his mother lives right on this block. And he says this lady, Janice Fulton, only moved into this neighborhood no more than 6 months ago, so relatively new to the neighborhood as well. What's interesting is obviously she was reported missing, but police are here. They've blocked off her neighborhood here, or at least this block here. And this is pretty much all we know. Police have been here for several hours. Again, there's vans here, and they're continuing their investigation. We're going to have more, if we hear more information, we'll be sure to send it back to you in the studio.
Honey, thank you. And that Kia car that we showed you briefly, that is the car police believe they could be in a car similar to that one. Well, the names you see right here scrolling on your screen are of the 49 lives lost during the Pulse nightclub shooting 7 months ago in Orlando. 50 others survived. Some of them, though, were terribly wounded. And one of those survivors is Jacksonville native Rodney Sumter. The former Nice High School and JU football player has made a miraculous recovery since that tragic shooting. And what he has now planned is even more surprising. First Coast News' Stephen Dial spoke exclusively with him in Orlando and has his remarkable story tonight.
The deadliest mass shooting in America happened right behind me at Pulse nightclub 6 months ago. Rodney Sumter, a Jacksonville native, was bartending and was shot multiple times. Now, 6 months later, he has done a lot of recovery, and he's hoping to accomplish a major goal, competing on American Ninja Warrior.
It's just been a lot of rehabilitation, man. I mean, a lot of physical therapy, a lot of doctor appointments, a lot of surgeries.
When we first met Rodney Sumter, his arm was in a sling. He had no feeling in his hand, and he had a hole the size of a softball in his back.
Get out of here. Oh my God.
Sumter was working as a bartender at Pulse nightclub. Bullets pierced his body, but never changed his attitude.
The best you can do is stay positive and move forward, and that's what I've been doing, man. I can't afford to sit there and dwell on the past and what happened physically. You know, all I can do is just try to get back to where I was.
Before the shooting, where he was in great shape. Sumter played football at Jacksonville University and high school ball with Tim Tebow.
Yeah, I'm still pretty ripped, man. I'm not too far off, so.
He has a new goal before him. Sumter was invited to apply for American Ninja Warrior.
It's not guaranteed or anything of that nature, but you know, they're definitely adamant about me trying to do it, and it's just like, why not? I mean, I am getting my strength back, and you know, I know you have to be very agile and strong to be on the show, but you know, I have some time, and like I said, I've been doing some intense rehabbing, so I think it's definitely really good for me.
Sumter is not on a regular recovery plan. He did push-ups for the first time recently. He's also in the gym twice a day. As he reflects on a tragedy that will never be erased from his mind, he's also thankful.
Appreciate the support from the city of Jacksonville, and it's not just Orlando. I mean, one thing that I do remember in the hospital was just the unwavering support from the city of Jacksonville, my hometown. So I love you all, and go Jags.
Sumter has a long road ahead of him, but he is on a fast track to recovery. He has applied to compete on American Ninja Warrior. He is just waiting to see if he will be physically cleared. In Orlando, Stephen Dial, First Coast News.
It is amazing to see him now doing those push-ups, and we wish Rodney the best of luck. We're going to continue to follow his road to recovery, and for more on this story, head to firstcoastnews.com.
And tonight, First Coast News is investigating the safety of food served in local schools. For the second time this week, a Duval County elementary school has found pests in the school cafeteria. This latest incident happened at Sadie Tillis Elementary School. And school leaders there tell us that roaches were seen in the serving line during lunch today. Just yesterday, insects were found in a student's food at Crystal Springs Elementary over on the west side. In both cases, the district tells us all equipment will be sanitized and food will be prepared at an off-site facility. And we asked school leaders how much of this is going to cost to prepare food off-site and deliver it back to the school. Well, they told us it depends on the menu, and they're going to look into it.
Just 1 week ago today, a young driver lost control on Interstate 10 and was killed in a very fiery crash, the crash you see right here. That driver was 18-year-old Bree Ahern. She was beloved by her community, beloved by her teammates, and by her family. And tonight, a vigil was held at her high school. First Coast News' Hani Rodriguez spoke to those who knew her.
Bree Ahern was a senior at Baker County High School and would attend like any other teenager football games. This is why family and friends chose Memorial Field to hold a memorial service for her tonight in her memory. We spoke to one of Bree's best friends, and one of the things that stood out was she said it felt like she had a hole in her heart. Those are powerful words coming from a teenager. This is obviously an extremely tough time for family and classmates, friends who say they will miss Bree, but she will forever live in their hearts.
You just feel empty inside, and there's a hole in your heart. There's a place missing. She was a very strong individual, and she cared about a lot of people, and she made it all about you when you were hanging out with her. She made you feel special.
We'll have more about the life of this beloved teen and those she touched coming up at 11. In McClenny, I'm Hani Rodriguez, First Coast News.
Right now, police are searching for the person or people who shot into a home with a 2-year-old child inside. This happened on Fredericksburg Avenue in northwest Jacksonville last night. 3 people were shot, and one of them is not expected to survive. A neighbor who lives down the street says she heard up to 20 gunshots. She ducked and told her kids to do the same.
I was trying to get on the floor, but I got bad knees, so all I could do was duck. And I was like, my kids, I said, y'all better get down. I said, because that's too close. And then once it stopped, we like peeped out before we came out.
2 neighboring homes with people inside were also hit with bullets. So far, there are no suspects. If you have any information, you're asked to call JSO or Crime Stoppers.
New information tonight about the investigation into St. Johns County Sheriff's deputy who resigned yesterday. He resigned after being accused of stealing from a nonprofit dedicated to helping underprivileged children. And tonight, we've learned some of those questionable purchases made using the charity's money include expensive dinners and tickets to NBA games.
The St. Johns County Sheriff's Office has charged one of its own for allegedly embezzling funds intended to help divert kids from crime. Sergeant Robert Gober, a 24-year veteran of the Sheriff's Office, was the executive director of the Police Athletic League for the past 9 years. A tip in September led to an investigation into how Police Athletic League funds were being spent. That report, obtained by First Coast News, shows some $30,000 of questionable expenditures by Gober, including expensive dinners, alcoholic beverages, entertainment, and travel. Gober told investigators he used PAL money to buy himself a $191 pair of sunglasses after he broke his at a football practice. He also acknowledged buying himself new clothes and shoes after his were stained while painting a football field. Investigators flagged a list of questionable purchases, including $252 tickets to see the Washington Wizards, a $180 dinner at Longhorn Steakhouse with alcohol, a $200 meal at Olive Garden, and an expensive dinner at Bahama Breeze, as well as hundreds of dollars of cash donations to PAL simply missing. Investigators concluded that there are over $30,000 of expenditures that probably would not have been approved by a higher authority if reviewed beforehand. However, criminal intent could only be tied to some $1,300 of charges to Gober's PAL debit card. Gober has not been arrested, and it's now up to the state attorney's office to determine whether or not to prosecute.
St. Johns County Sheriff David Shore said in part today, our folks recognized a potential problem and reported it. And after determining there was culpability, we held the person accountable and we put in place additional financial control measures that will hopefully keep this kind of problem from ever occurring again. And the Sheriff's Office says Gober is facing 1 count of organized scheme to defraud pending review by the state attorney's office.
A bandit steals dozens of lottery tickets, and it's all caught on camera. You see him right here, and police are hoping his luck runs out tonight.
Plus, would you eat a genetically modified apple? Well, before you say no, what if I told you these apples will never turn brown? We'll explain coming up.
And the showers paint the cold front. The back side of that cold front we won't see for the next 7 days. We'll take a look at this side of the front.
A Georgia lawmaker is recovering tonight after being shot during a robbery at a convenience store. Officials say 69-year-old Representative Gerald Green stopped for gas on the way back from the Capitol when he was shot in the leg and robbed. He is said to be stable tonight. It's unclear if he was targeted or not. Green has been in the Georgia House for about 34 years.
Well, an amazing story now. An escaped inmate who was on the run for more than 40 years was today before a Clay County judge. 64-year-old Stephen York escaped from a North Carolina prison back in 1975. He was finally found in Middleburg yesterday. Police say he was living a double life and was using the identity of a dead infant. They also say he used that false identity to get a driver's license, a bank account, even car insurance. A judge has set his bond at $30,000. He's set to be back in court next month.
2 students have been arrested after a stun gun was found at First Coast High School. This comes a day after a gun was found there. The students are now facing criminal charges and disciplinary action. The school is saying there will be a talk with students and random searches will be increased. As for yesterday's case, also at First Coast High School, as we just mentioned, the 17-year-old arrested for having a gun at school was in court this morning. We learned he's accused of having the loaded gun in his waistband. A student tipped off staff members and school police searched the student and found it. Police say no students or staff were hurt or threatened. The teenager will make his next court appearance next month. The ramp off the Hart Bridge may not be coming down as soon as planned. Mayor Lenny Curry told our partners at the Times-Union that the $50 million the city would need from the state for the project will be easier to ask for next year. Instead, he's planning to plead for money to remove many of the city's septic tanks. Aging tanks are to blame for nitrogen pollution in the St. Johns River and that signature River City odor.
Tonight, police are hoping that you can help identify a man caught on camera stealing dozens of lottery tickets. And the video they have, it's crystal clear. So look at your screen. This happened at the J&J food store on Jacksonville's west side. Police are hoping this guy's luck runs out and that someone can call Crime Stoppers to identify him.
The man accused of killing an Orlando police officer was in court today. Markeith Lloyd is still bandaged up. He said very little during his hearing. He faces charges for the murder of his ex-girlfriend and for allegedly shooting a police officer while she investigated the case. Lloyd will represent himself in the trial, despite the judge's warning that it's a bad idea.
And a Florida woman now facing charges in connection to that case. This is a pretty bizarre story. The woman is accused of pretending to be a deputy during the manhunt for that accused cop killer. Kamisha Bird has allegedly confessed to going door to door, carrying what appeared to be a gun, even going inside of people's homes. Deputies don't think she ever took anything and say no one was harmed.
You'll notice some changes the next time you fly American Airlines. The company says it's dropping seat back screens from its in-flight entertainment. They feel it's no longer necessary since 90% of passengers bring their own devices aboard. American contends that smartphones, tablets, or laptops do a better job than the airline's individual screens. The new screenless seats will debut later this year.
And listen to this, just in time for the Super Bowl, Tostitos has come out with a bag of chips that doubles as a breathalyzer. So this bag comes equipped with an alcohol sensor that will turn red if you blow into it with alcohol on your breath. If it's green, you don't have any alcohol on your breath. The Frito-Lay company says the Party Safe bag is meant to curb drunk driving. They also upped the ante by providing a $10 Uber code to use on Super Bowl Sunday.
A new kind of apple will be in our grocery stores in the next few days. The USDA has approved of the sale of these apples. They don't turn brown after you cut into them. The apples have been genetically modified and are called Arctic apples. So you may be a little skeptical about the fruits, wondering if they're safe to eat. Well, scientists say they removed the enzyme in apples that causes them to brown after they're cut into or bruised. That enzyme acts as sort of an immune blocker for most fruits, but for ripe apples, researchers say it doesn't do much, so it's not necessary. And they tell us these apples are completely safe to eat. The Arctic apples are expected to hit store shelves next month.
Well, we want to congratulate tonight the Take Stock in Children Alum of the Year and Mentor of the Year. Anthony and I had the opportunity to MC the Art of Mentoring event tonight, and Donald Delatorre and Malkivia Morris were the recipients of those big honors tonight. So a great crowd. If you're not familiar with Take Stock in Children, Anthony and I both mentor with the program. It just takes 1 hour a week, and you're paired up with a local student who then gets a college scholarship. So sign up today to mentor. We have all the information on firstcoastnews.com. And congratulations to Donald and Malkivia for
definitely well deserved, and they have done a lot of work for Take Stock in Children.
They sure have. It was a fun event.
Bravo to you two. I mean, you say just an hour, but that's a lot. So we appreciate that very much.
Thank you. We're happy to do it, and we hope you'll sign up too.
I talked earlier about the backside of the cold front. What I mean by that is a warm front, and it's going to be 7 days at least before we see the warm front. That certainly is a major hint of the type of temperatures we're going to have. So does that mean a major freeze? I don't think so, because of the origination of this high, not from the Arctic, not even from the polar regions, it's from the North Pacific. So yes, no doubt about it. We're going to have cold mornings, but seasonably cold mornings probably for about the next week. It will certainly bring in some dry air. So what about these clouds? Well, those clouds developing as we head towards Saturday along the front that's going to stall. But as long as this high is between us and this developing storm system, maybe a sprinkle at the most. On the other hand, if you're thinking, well, I'm going to go to South Florida where it's going to be warmer, well, it's going to be kind of a raw, wet weekend down south, because that's where the front will stall, and because they'll be on the south side of the high, they'll be on the wet side of the high. So let's come back home on Friday. No doubt about it, a cooler day, whereas the beaches saw 80 degrees today before the showers arrived. Tomorrow, only about 60 degrees. In addition to that, although over land tomorrow, the winds will diminish out of the west and northwest because those are colder winds blowing over the warmer waters offshore. Remember, although surf temperatures sitting at about 60, you get out toward the Gulf Stream, it's at about 70 to 75. The greater the temperature difference between the surface, the ocean, and the air above it, and the higher the winds, and that's why those winds will be heavier up there. Let's go back to the morning cold. Again, I'm looking for some of us in Duval to have in the 40s, although I must admit, as we show you the computer model for tomorrow morning at 7 a.m., it's more like lows near 50 to the lower 50s. Not all that windy, so wind chill not a big deal. Sunshine increasing as we go through the day, but certainly a chilly day. Now, for those of you farther off to the northwest, yeah, you're going to be closer to the colder air, but I think the more significant reason you'll be down into the lower 40s is because you should have mostly clear skies through about sunrise. On the other hand, for those of you farther to the south, sure, you're farther away from the colder air, but also you're going to keep the clouds through the night, so it's going to be kind of a blanket. So notice St. Johns and Flagler County, you might not drop below the 50s. So again, that's why I'm using the word more in the way of chill as opposed to cold, although colder mornings are on the way. So let's break it down for you. More of us will get into the 30s on Saturday and on Sunday, but I do not see a freeze to be a problem. On the other hand, remember, the rain's going to be just south of us. We could have a sprinkle or two, so plenty of clouds on Saturday and Sunday. Chilly days. Some of us might not even make it to 60 over the weekend. Looks like our greatest risk of a frost or a visit from Jack, depending on how you look at it, will be on Tuesday morning, although bright blue, clear polar skies will spread over the region.
Tiger Woods hit the links today for the first time in over 500 days. The Jags hired another coach, and we've got a local hoop star making a name for himself. That's all coming up next in sports. Dallas Moore, a.k.a. UNF's sharpshooter, is sitting at third in the country in D1 men's basketball for points per game. Earlier this month, he hit 2,000 career points, and last night he was honored for 500 assists, which he told me today he might be proudest of. I caught up with him this afternoon before practice, and we talked a little bit about that shooting success, particularly those big three-pointers.
It was 10 seconds and they left you 4 or 5 feet outside and you just let it go.
Yeah, that's something me and Coach have been working on a lot with my range and stuff like that. So I work on that every day, about to work on it right now actually. So something I do every day and practice every day. So I just trust it in the game. My teammates tell me to shoot it with a lot of confidence, so that's what I do.
Well, it was back on the links for Tiger Woods, his first official PGA Tour start in 522 days. And in 522 days, from May of 1999 to October 2000, he won 17 events, including 4 majors. 522 days. Not a bad start for him at Torrey Pines this afternoon in the opening round of the Farmers Insurance Open. Tiger knocking his 136-yard approach to 10 feet and birdied on the par 4 10th hole for his first birdie in 523 days on the PGA Tour. Then he did it again on 11, 2 straight birdies to start the back 9 before 3 straight bogeys. He would finish the day at 4 over. Now, I told you about this yesterday, a new wrinkle from the NFL, a skills competition at the Pro Bowl, the drone drop. Drones carrying NFL footballs and dropping them to NFL receivers. The competition came down to Landry and Giants star wide receiver Odell Beckham. This ball dropping from 125 feet up, almost 13 floors. Beckham, wait for it, making a spectacular reversing lunge catch. He would go on to win the drone drop competition at the Pro Bowl. All right, with plenty of cap space, fresh faces, new facilities, the Jaguars look like just a work in progress from the outside looking in. By the way, they hired a new linebackers coach today in Mark Collins. But this team could this team be a legitimate contender next season, even if it is just the AFC South? Dave Caldwell said this week they're getting close.
I think looking back 4 years ago when we started this, it was a major build, and we had to dig the foundation and put up the structure. And now I think it's just kind of a retooling and kind of fixing some things, some tweaks here and there. It's not a major rebuild, and I think we're close. We lost 10 games by less than a touchdown. You know, we win half those games next year, and plus a little bit more. You know, it may put us in the lead in the division.
As far as those teams who are still playing, the Super Bowl is right around the corner. Tom Brady and the Patriots not looking to break the pattern of never losing to Matt Ryan and the Atlanta Falcons, even though it seems like pretty much everyone on the outside of the Boston fan base is likely sporting the red and black come February 5th. Bill Belichick knows good quarterbacks when he sees them, though, and they aren't taking Matt Ryan lightly.
He handles the line of scrimmage well, gets the team in the right place, plays good in critical situations, deep ball, intermediate throws, possession passes, red area. He's athletic. He can get out of some trouble. So there's really no weaknesses to his game.
All right, time now to check out our hashtag Team Sideline photo from our very own Chris Porter and his daughter Ma'at, who celebrated her first birthday today. Happy birthday, Ma'at. Of course, send us your photos to Twitter and Instagram. Just use the hashtag Team Sideline. That's it for sports. We'll be right back.